Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Obviously, we talk a lot about recruiting on this channel. And, when you're talking about a sales pitch, what makes a kid want to come to Tennessee? A lot of people feel like playing for the T is gone. Those days are over. A lot of people think it's only about money. Is it about development? Right? I think one of the biggest pitches you can give to a kid is, hey, we're going to bring you in, we're going to develop you, and we're going to get you to the next level. Playing in the NFL is the goal. And I think Josh Heupel's done a good job of putting guys into the league. You can go to Wikipedia, you can look at all of the draft picks, and yeah, you can argue and say, well, all he's done is put Jeremy Pruitt's players into the league. Well, those are the players that he was coaching. He's got to continue to do it. And I think the quarterback position, I think defensive lineman is a strength for this coaching staff of guys that they've put to the league. But look at the quarterback position alone, right? Hendon Hooker, 2023, goes in the third round. We feel like we took a step back at the quarterback position. Hendo Cinco off to the NFL. Enter Joe Milton. We feel like, man, we take a step back. We go 9-3. Nico's the future. Can't wait till Nico takes over. But look, man, Joe Milton was still a sixth-round NFL draft pick. I think that shows that Josh Heupel can put quarterbacks into the league. He's got to continue to do that with Nico. We got to see Nico continue to grow, continue to develop. I think that is maybe one of the biggest question marks as we head into spring camp on Friday is how much growth do we see with Nico from year one as a starter to year two as a starter. But, man, it's kind of fun to go back to this list and scroll up. Almost sad at this point to go back to 2017. Look at the NFL talent that Butch Jones had and didn't do anything with it. But you go back, man, you want to see what Tennessee is supposed to look like. Go back to the mid to late 90s. Look at all the first-round draft picks. 2002, John Henderson, Dante Stallworth, Albert Haynesworth. Look at 2000. I mean, look at this, 2 first-round draft picks. You got how many guys? 5 guys drafted in the second round. The mid to late 90s, that's what it looked like. We got to continue to get back to that. We got to continue to develop guys and put them into the league. And that's one of the big talking points over the weekend as the NFL Combine is going on was James Pearce Jr. Going into the 2024 season, there was buzz that he was going to be a number 1 overall draft pick. Let's go take a look at this tweet for more important issues showing James Pearce run the 40. Look at the speed, man. Look at the speed that James Pearce Jr. pops out there. I mean, it's elite, faster than Jalen Hurts, faster than A.J. Brown. Post a 4.47 in the 40. That is elite speed for James Pearce, but I don't think his athleticism was ever a question mark. What is? There's a lot of stuff floating around the internet about James Pearce Jr. and his character. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to read the article, but as always, I need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for me. Smash the thumbs up. Just down there below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, if it's your first time here, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. What we do is exactly what you guys do. We speculate. We talk about rumors. We celebrate the wins. We mourn the losses. This is for the fans, by the fans. We are exactly like you. We are fans. If you like it, subscribe, click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Right now, we're live every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We play EA Sports College Football. We talk all things Tennessee football. Spring camp kicks off on Friday. I think Josh Heupel is supposed to meet with the media around lunchtime. Myself, Coach Jay, we're going to go live around that. So be looking, be dialed in. Make sure you got that bell rung for notifications. We're going to go live. We're going to break down his opening comments on spring camp. We're going to talk about spring camp, what we're excited about. So join us for that. Again, we'll let you guys know the time once we get it scheduled. I want to go take a look at this tweet. And again, this came out over the weekend. A lot of talk about the NFL draft boards. Where is James Pearce Jr. going to end up? You see the graphic. Worst character report in the NFL draft. It says Tennessee defensive end James Pearce Jr. reportedly has the worst character report. What does that even mean of any players in this year's class? Here's the quote. I was told by one scout that Pearce Jr. is seen as the player with the worst character report of any player in this draft class. Now, you talk about, on the field, his athleticism, again, the 40 that he just ran. I saw a graphic. Somebody shared this on the VolQuest message board, college football numbers. This came out on February the 22nd. It says pass rush win rates and pressure rates for edge rushers taken in the first round, plus 2025 edges who could also be taken in the first round this year. James Pearce Jr. is at the top. We talk about blue chip ratio and how we're going up and to the right. J.D. Pickell talked about it for Tennessee. Everything is going up and to the right on the graph, trending in the right direction. James Pearce is at the top right of the board. So athleticism, that's what he's doing. He's showing it at the combine, just how much of an athletic freak he is. So what is this from Football Forever? What does this mean? What is this worst character report? Well, I'm going to walk you through the article. This is what it says. It says everyone knows how athletic Tennessee edge James Pearce Jr. is. Came into the season as some analysts' top prospect in the class from summer scouting, but his junior year in Knoxville did not go as planned in 2024. Said, I was told that the Tennessee football program could not only breathe easier once Pearce left campus, but his pitch count in the SEC was not injury related. Now, first of all, I would speculate on that and say, what are you talking about? His pitch count? Because what do we know that Rodney Garner wants to do? James Pearce or not? Rodney Garner wants to rotate guys. He's talked about it, 10 to 12 guys across that defensive front. We talked about the depth. We talked about staying fresh late in football games, how this defense kept us in football games because we were fresh, because of the depth. So that's an interesting point, talking about a pitch count for James Pearce Jr. and that it wasn't Tennessee's decision, that it was James Pearce Jr.'s decision, not injury related. Goes on to say Pearce was seen as undeniably uncoachable and as a player with one foot out the door already this season, giving his coaches little incentive to put him on the field. Really? Do you guys buy that? Do you guys believe that? Do you believe this report that he was on a pitch count, he was uncoachable, had one foot out the door, and the coaches had little incentive to put him on the field? Brent Hubbs responded on the message boards over at VolQuest. Very, very solid response. He said, I don't quite get this one. Pearce played the most snaps of any defensive lineman on the roster. Said he played more than Andre Turrentine. These are the guys that had more snaps. Andre Turrentine, Arian Carter, Ricky Gibson, Will Brooks, Jamad McCoy. Those are the only guys that played more snaps, and they're not defensive linemen. He played more snaps than any other defensive lineman on the roster, which, again, goes back to the point that I made that Rodney Garner wants to rotate players. Hubbs goes on to say that Pearce averaged 43 snaps in SEC play. As a defense, they averaged 64 snaps a game, so he played 67% of the snaps in SEC play. He goes on to say coaches have said publicly for a year that he needs to become a better pro. He needs to mature. What does that mean? Said, I think there were some issues, distractions at times, especially earlier in the year. He does have to continue to mature. The narrative about him has obviously hurt him and is something that is working against him in the draft. I don't think people in this program are tarnishing him with scouts. So I think Hubbs knows a little something about this program. I think he has enough connections to say this doesn't seem to be coming from the program, doesn't seem to be coming from inside the building. So where is this coming from? Is this coming from other NFL teams? Is this being leaked? Is this being put out there to try to get James Pearce Jr. as a steal in the draft? I see red flags. The article goes on, says, pending the Mike Green reports that have flooded the media over the past month, I was told by one scout that Pearce Jr. is seen as the player with the worst character report of any player in the draft class. Another scout told me they think the environment and the people around him in Tennessee are the main issues, and they think he could become a pro when he enters an NFL building. Again, what does it mean? What does it mean being a pro? And some of the conversations, some of the talking points, and again, on the message boards over at VolQuest, if you're not a member at VolQuest, I don't know what you're doing. What they put on the general's quarters, best information, inside information. Again, we're not experts and insiders. That's why I love VolQuest. That's why I support VolQuest. Love having those guys on the show. But there was a lot of talk about what does it mean to be a pro? Is it as simple as showing up to meetings on time, being prepared, being ready? Again, speculation. Goes on to say, I was left with a final note that while the general public would be stunned to see it happen, NFL personnel won't be shocked to see him on the board after the first 64 picks in the draft. Everyone knows how athletic Tennessee edge James Pearce Jr. is. He came into the season as some analysts' top prospect in the class. Now, if you go back, there was some issues. December 2023, James Pearce Jr. was arrested for disobeying police during a traffic stop for speeding, also suspected of driving on a suspended license. Those charges were later dismissed. They said he paid the speeding ticket, showed proof that he had a driver's license. That was a wrap. Otherwise, as James Pearce Jr., I don't recall him ever really getting into trouble while he was at Tennessee. So to question his character is interesting to me. So what does this do to his NFL draft stock? Well, this came out an hour ago. 1 hour ago, post NFL Combine mock draft sees James Pearce Jr. on the rise. It says here 2025 NFL Scouting Combine has concluded. The NFL Draft Board is becoming much more clear. During the week, massive moves were made as Deebo Samuel was traded to the Commanders, while the Rams re-signed Matthew Stafford. As the new league year is set to begin, several other moves will be made, leaving the week with massive performances by James Pearce Jr. has NFL scouts buzzing. If you scroll down here, you can see that he is currently listed as the 9th overall draft pick to the New Orleans Saints. Ton of questions. linger about James Pearce Jr. as he didn't live up to lofty expectations coming into the year. At the NFL Combine, Pearce got his draft stock headed back in the right direction, looking like one of the best prospects in the class. The Saints have plenty of work to do as their core is aging, and adding a young elite pass rusher in James Pearce Jr. will help as this team rebuilds. So stock going back up after we see him on the field of play. We see that athleticism. What do you take away from all of this? I want to see what your comments are. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can also support the channel by hitting that little join button right down there below the video, right beside subscribe. You can do that for just $1 a month. That's what keeps the lights on. That's what keeps us talking Tennessee football every single day of the year, is you hitting that join button. We would appreciate the support. All the links are in the description to do that, but that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.